So picture this. It's 1977. You're in the very heart of historic Paris, and this thing erupts into the skyline. It's a chaotic jumble of colored pipes, steel beams, and glass, looking like a building that decided to wear all its insides on the outside. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible story of how this architectural monster became one of the most beloved icons in the world.
The public reaction was, well, not great. It was immediate and it was fierce. Parisians started calling it Our Lady of the Plumbing or the Oil Refinery. One newspaper headline literally compared it to the Loch Ness Monster. You have to understand, the shock was real. This wasn't just some new building. A lot of people felt it was an attack on the very soul of Paris.
All right, so how on earth did this monster even get built? To get that, we have to rewind a bit, back to 1970. There was this hugely ambitious competition to create a brand new cultural heart for the city, right in a district called Beaubourg.
On one hand, you've got the Paris everybody knows and loves, right? All those elegant, historic stone buildings. But on the other hand, you had the French president, Georges Pompidou, and he had this really audacious vision. He didn't want another stuffy elite monument. He wanted a vibrant cultural center that was truly for everyone.
So the competition jury, which had absolute legends on it like Jean Prouvé and Philip Johnson, they had to sort through 681 anonymous proposals. And the winners? To pretty much everyone's surprise, it was a team of two young, basically unknown architects, Renzo Piano, who was only 33, and Richard Rogers, who was 37. They later admitted they didn't even think they had a shot at winning.
Their idea was just completely revolutionary. They didn't really propose a building so much as an information machine. But here's the kicker, the one detail that set them apart from all 680 other entries. They dedicated half of the entire plot of land to a public square. Their whole philosophy was that culture shouldn't be locked away inside. It should spill right out onto the street for everybody.
Now, to pull off that wide-open, public-friendly dream, they pretty much had to invent a whole new kind of building. So this next part, it's all about the absolute genius of that inside-out design.
So this is the big question, right? Why put all the guts of the building on the outside? The pipes, the escalators, the steel frame, why would you expose all of that? Well, it wasn't just for shock value. Nope, it served an absolutely brilliant purpose. This radical choice actually made the Pompidou a pioneer of an entire architectural movement that we now call high-tech. And the idea is actually pretty simple. Instead of hiding all the functional stuff, the plumbing, the electrical, the structure, you celebrate it. You turn the engineering itself into the main look of the building.
And here's the payoff for that crazy idea. By moving all the supports, all the stairs, and all the mechanical systems to the outside, they were able to create these enormous, completely open floors inside. We're talking 7,500 square meters each, with no columns or walls in the way. This gave the museum total flexibility to change up exhibitions however they wanted. Okay, and this is the really fun part. All those colorful pipes you see on the outside, they're not random at all. They're actually color-coded. The big blue ducts, that's for air conditioning. The green pipes are for water, the yellow tubes are for all the electrical circuits, and red is for everything that moves people and keeps them safe, like the famous escalators and the fire extinguishers. It's a simple, brilliant system. And to make those huge open floors possible, they needed some seriously specialized engineering. Check out these incredible steel parts. They're called gerberettes. They basically act like giant levers, holding up the massive beams that stretch across the entire building, and then transferring all of that weight to the columns on the outside. Just amazing.
But you know, the Pompidou was never just about revolutionary engineering. Its true goal was social. As Renzo Piano himself said, it was designed to be not a building, but a town.
And this quote from Piano really just gets to the heart of the whole project. It was a deeply democratic idea. Let's break down the walls between culture and everyday life. Let's create a space that truly, genuinely welcomes everyone, no matter who you are or where you come from. Just take a look at this number for a second. 2,000. What could that even be? Well, get this. That's how many free seats are available inside the Pompidou's public information library at any given moment. It's a pretty powerful symbol of just how serious they were about public access.
And the library itself, the BPI, it's incredible. You can walk right in, completely free, no ID required. It's open late, it's open on weekends. It's become this vital hub for students, for people who work remotely, really for anyone who just needs a place to learn or think. It is a library truly built for the people, and believe me, it is always packed.
And remember that vision of a vibrant public space? Oh, it was a massive success. The big, gently sloping plaza in front of the building basically became its own free stage, a total magnet for street performers, musicians, artists, and just people hanging out. That square is just as much a part of the Pompidou experience as anything inside.
So, ultimately, the Centre Pompidou didn't just change a neighborhood in Paris. It changed the entire idea of what a museum could be, and its legacy is something we still feel all over the world today.
I mean, this quote from the Pritzker Prize jury, which is like the Nobel Prize for Architecture, it just says it all perfectly. The Pompidou revolutionized museums. It turned them from these kind of stuffy, elite monuments into popular, lively places for people to connect, right in the heart of the city.
And so the building that started out as a monster finally completed its journey. It really did turn the architecture world upside down, and it eventually won over the public to become not just an icon of Paris, but one of the most visited cultural destinations on the entire planet. But of course, the story isn't over. As a high-tech machine, the Pompidou was always designed to evolve. And now, it's getting ready for its biggest transformation yet. Yeah, this building has had a busy life. After its grand opening back in '77, it got its first big renovation in the late '90s. And now, starting in 2025, it's going to close completely for 5 years for a huge modernization project. The plan is to reopen it in 2030, better than ever.
And that really brings us to our final thought. The Centre Pompidou was first imagined as an evolving spatial diagram, right? A machine for culture that could adapt over time. So, after almost 50 years of radical influence, the big question now is, how will this incredible cultural machine reinvent itself for the next generation?